Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM22 One Club story from Hemel Hempstead Town with me, Daniel. It's part 16 of the Tudor Times, and today we play our final two games of the National League season. Or do we? Because we have just about got back into form in time, and with the two easier games on paper at the end of the season to come, we've got an outside chance of sneaking that 7th spot and into the playoff quarterfinals, because so many of the other teams have run away with things, but Chesterfield, Eastleigh, Torquay, Southend, nobody wants that last spot. And it is now very close between us and Chesterfield, who are basically fighting it out. Eastleigh can still make it, but look unlikely. Today we face Wealdstone away, who are battling for relegation. They're level on points with Darlington at the edge of the drop zone. And Kings Lynn, who are comfortable in mid-table and have nothing to play for. Probably the only side we've truly dismantled this year as well. We've also got a youth intake to look at, which is of a very surprising standard given what our head of youth development said earlier in the preview. So if you're looking forward to all of that and seeing whether we can sneak in and extend this season by another episode, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on for daily FM22 content. If we finish this season today and don't make the playoffs, then we'll have one more day on the beta schedule as we do our season review as part of a doubleheader tomorrow. But from Tuesday at the latest, we go back to our normal schedule, the two long-term stories rotating every day at 3:30. Unfortunately, the day job pays the bill, so that's what we've got to go back for. But in the meantime, we've also got FM22 mobile, so from Tuesday, there'll also be episodes from that. So essentially still double uploads next week. Thank you again for your incredible support. You can find anything you've missed in the eye above, as well as links to the Twitch channel and the podcast channel. Loads of live streams over on Twitch at the moment. But thank you again for your incredible support. It really is greatly appreciated. Now let's go and have a look at what's been happening. You can see that our 8-game winless run was extended to 10 after the last episode. Defeats against Torquay and a draw against Notts County. However, we have bounced back with 2 1-0 wins. And for whatever you say about most of our performances this year, and I know the Bromley one was a one-off, we have been very solid at the back, and it's meant that odd goals can win us more games than we lose. So let's have a look at the games we played off camera. A 1-1 draw against Notts County, a James Dobson wonder free kick, and then a resolute defensive effort against Notts County, which is weird really. They were winning the league, and actually it was the result that officially won them the league, bizarrely. But our defence played really badly. Normally when we have these types of games, we see a pattern where Kapekwa or Harbottle or Senga, whoever's at centre-half, is playing really, really well. But in this game, it was actually none of that. Chris Paul came off the bench and had the best rating of any defender. It was very odd. However, we did go back to losing ways away at Torquay the week after. Gabby Rogers with a 90th minute winner. It's a shame, we'd been outplayed, but again, solid at the back, we worked really hard. And it just looked like we weren't going to be able to buy that next win. But then came an unlikely hero. We played Hartlepool United at home, the start of an Easter doubleheader. And look who scored. Chris Paul, the right back who will be going in the summer. He's not good enough, but he came off the bench, scored a bullet header at the near post from a corner in the 92nd minute. He wasn't even supposed to be up there. He was set on stay back as the right back, completely ignored our instructions and went forward. But on this occasion, I'll certainly forgive him because Chris Paul ended that 10-game run without a victory. And we backed it up on Easter Monday against Chesterfield. Victor Sedende from the penalty spot finally got another goal after ending his goal drought against Bromley. And we're now, remarkably, scrapping for the playoffs again, because despite that 10-game winless run, no other side, including lots of big professional ones, have taken advantage. And of course, with Chesterfield being the side we beat, it's given us a bit of a sniff, because anything other than a win there, and they would have been wrapped up already. So let's go and get into the Wealdstone game via our youth intake, which I think is deceptively good. If we go and have a look at the candidates there, we weren't expecting much because we were told it was going to be a poor intake, but we've got at least 2 elite candidates and it's now rated good. The thing that surprised me most though, is we've got a Northern Irishman, a Welshman, a Dutchman, an Irishman, a German, a Scot, and loads of English players. So a very diverse youth intake for a club in non-league. And where we're finding these players from, unless they're natives in the UK and perhaps they've got a second nation, I'm not quite sure. It looks like on these occasions they are. But born in Holland, so unless they've come to the UK very young, which you wouldn't have thought so based on the fact that they don't really have fluent English, it just seems a little bit odd, but we're not going to complain about it at all. The best player is a Northern Irish right winger, which is Stephen McCartney, 1-star ability, 4.5 potential. If we're being honest, he's miles off mentally and technically, but physically he's quick, he's agile, he's got the attributes, but not a good personality, not a lot of ability. I don't think any of these are going to make it, but lovely to see that we're producing some footballers. The other one is Joe Ward, who's a little bit further behind in development. A natural striker, but being picked out as a right winger. Again, 4.5-star potential. Can't really finish, but does look a little bit better as a winger. I'll give that to the head of youth development. So maybe the better of the two long term, but lots of other decent players, a few that I'm sure other clubs will be sniffing around. I'm really pleased with that. I don't think we can complain whatsoever. But let's go and get into the Wealdstone match, because none of them are going to be pressing the first team now. And we have got two massive games. We've got to keep an eye on others as well. The problem we have today is that Chesterfield on paper have a home banker against Hartlepool. A side that we've managed to do well against, got that win a couple of games ago. And a side that have had an awful year, only secured survival in the last match. And they don't really deserve it, because they're only just getting a point a game. So let's go and get through the tactical meeting. I'm sure we'll have some changes to be made. And then we'll be back in a moment with our lineup for the penultimate game of the season. It's a massive one at Wealdstone, fairly local as well. Well, the usual instruction to press the goalkeeper, which is Harry Isted, the man who rejected us before we signed David Gregory. Interestingly, I did try and get Gabe Osho on loan from Luton. He popped up as one of my potential solutions at right back. Unfortunately, he rejected us. I can get why. He's underrated a little bit in FM, but he's actually playing championship football in real life, so I don't think we can argue with that one. The problem we might have today is Kopekwa's not really fit, Oshieng's not fit, Sedende's not fit. What that means is we are heavily rotated in key areas. So Harbottle and Senga play together at centre-half. Hasn't always gone well this year. Carruthers is trying to do a job in the holding role because Oshieng's out and Senga's covering at the back. Brown Sterling in up front. I don't even remember when his last goal was. Then Brian Ifianyi in on the right because Marsh Brown's got a heavy match load. And as has Oliver Turner. So we're trying to rest them, get fit players in, players that can run all day, and hopefully players that can get us a victory. So it's David Gregory between the sticks, Carson and Simpson the fullbacks, Senga and Harbottle at centre-half, Carruthers just in front, Mantum and Brook, that dynamic duo going in the middle of the pitch, and then Dobson and Ifianyi on the wings, Brown Sterling up front. And if ever there's a time for us to produce a performance, this would be the one. 8 changes from the game on Monday. Please let us deliver and sneak into the playoffs. It would be a wonderful achievement. And here is the Wealdstone team. Ira Jackson Jr., player that we've just interviewed on a podcast. That'll be coming out soon. He's a good footballer, very quick, good goal scorer at this level too, decent finisher. Jay Bird, very good striker too. Alfie Williams, Adebayo's a good player. This is tough. Harry Isted is a top keeper at this level. He's better than Gregory in terms of ratings. But let's see if we can get ourselves the result, because this one could keep us in with a playoffs chance. I'm going to get the latest scores up after the first highlight, because we need to know what Chesterfield are doing too, and probably Eastleigh in this game, as Harbottle gets the ball at the back. Brings it forward, chips out to the left to Dobson, who knocks it down for Mantum. Not really going anywhere, but keeping it well, and looking comfortable in possession, as Mantum picks it up in a centre circle to Brook. He's got 2 up front. Brown Sterling's one of them. The other's Brian, who's off the right. He gets it now. Takes on his man. Gets to the byline. Can he get the cross in? There's 3 in the middle making the run. James Dobson's one. But it was just too wide of an angle and it's headed over the bar. 7 minutes gone though. We look okay so far. Have Chesterfield scored? They haven't. But Eastleigh are behind. So it's now a 2-horse race as it stands. Simpson with a corner in. Ira Jackson edge just wide. Very difficult chance. But to be fair, another free header from a corner and some worrying signs at the back, as Simpson's got a throw on the left for the host. Down the line to Reynolds. Simpson's making a run again. He's been left completely unmarked. Who's that making a run out? It's Carruthers covering the wing. Reynolds crosses though. Bird's there. Good block by Harbottle. Harry Brook back in his own box. Gives it to Carruthers. Can we get out here? It's a poor ball to Simpson, but he makes something of it. Finds Brian Ifianyi. He's got an overlap from his right back, but Brook goes instead. He gets it to Brown Sterling. To Ifianyi, come on, take him on. Drops the shoulder, goes surging down the line. There's 3 or 4 in the middle. Brown Sterling's one of them. And he's a whisker away from ending that goal drought. 0-0 with 20 minutes gone. We've not yet hit the target, but we look a big threat on the break. And we're playing some good football too. As it's a throw on the right-hand side for Wealdstone. Just about 10 minutes to go to half-time, as Mantum nicks it off Ira Jackson and it's given back to the centre-half. They keep the ball though, Wealdstone. We're not winning many of the second balls. And Harbottle, oh, he's been done over the top. What a mistake. Tries to clear it, smashes it against Bird. And Bird fires it in to the net one-on-one. No chance for David Gregory. And Harbottle, playing in Kopekwa's position. Not quite the same, is he? Still got a good rating, mind you. Chesterfield 0-0 at half-time, so we've got a chance still if we can turn it around. But as it stands, we'll be 4 points behind with 1 game to go and completely out the playoff race. We've been a better team, we're going to push forward, but I'm not confident at the minute. As we come back just before the hour mark, I talk about the subject of not being confident. I can't remember. I think the last time we scored more than 1 goal in a game was that Woking one 2 episodes ago, as Brian Iviani edged just over. That was a great opportunity. Brown Sterling is having a shocking game up front. I'm going to replace him with Dan Roberts. If there's ever a time to become a hero, it's now. In centre midfield, turn it on for Mantum. Oh, do we go right back? We're going to do it. Chris Paul on at right back. Please, somebody be a hero. Somebody pop up with a brace. But this is the problem. We play well. We just don't look like scoring. We've not got midfielders that can break beyond and put goals in. Sam Mantum scores penalties, but that's about it. We haven't really got wingers in form or fully fit. Dobson's waning now. He's into his 30s. He's not quite as fit physically, certainly towards the end of games. He's basically there for the set-piece quality. And then Roberts up front is an unproven candidate at the minute. He's never played at this level. As Brooke gives it back to Carruthers. If ever there's a time to prove it, though, it's now. As Dobson crosses in, Brian Ifiani at the back post. It's an awful bit of defending from the Wealdstone defence. Their offside line was in about 4 different places. But Jackson misses the interception and we're level. Now can we nick a winner? Chesterfield are behind. We are back in the race for the playoffs. If we'd won, we would have been level on points. But as it is, going into the final day, if we win and Chesterfield lose, we can still nick 7th place. Looks unlikely, but stranger things have happened. I'll see you in a minute for Kings Lynn at home, and we'll be watching the Chesterfield score like a hawk. Well, Judgment Day, decision time is here. We are at home to Kings Lynn. Ironically, Chesterfield at home to Wealdstone, who are in 20th place scrapping for their lives. One of us will be in the National League playoffs, the other deemed to have had a mid-table mediocrity season. However, whoever gets into the playoffs is probably going to get thumped, particularly by the top 3 of those 6 sides. But for now, we've got an opportunity to do something very special. But I've been distracted because I didn't notice for the whole of this season, but we are playing our under-18s in the North East League. The National Under-18 North East League. Now, Hemel Hempstead is about 15-20 miles north of London. It's further south than Luton. How on earth are they playing in the North League? Is it just because there's so many southern sides? I think it might be. Because I'm looking at the southeast and I can't immediately see any sides that would be further north. So that is a massive problem. These lads, they're doing really well to be 3rd in the league when you consider they're travelling to Hartlepool, Darlington. There's so many teams right up in the north of the country. And look, Hitchin are in this league as well. They're very local to Luton. So there is an overload of southern teams in these leagues, which means Hemel Hempstead are playing in a North East Youth League. Incredible, really. I'll have to see if that's the case in real life, because that's just bizarre. In terms of opposition instructions, we've got to close a couple down. Now let me go and pick the team for our final league game of the season to see who is going to be tasked with trying to sneak us into the playoffs. I've made big decisions today. I've gone experienced. I've largely gone tried and trusted. From the last game, it does mean a few changes. Kopekwa back in at centre-half for Senga. Harbottle switches to the right. Oshieng back in the holding role. Carruthers down to the bench. Mantum in the box-to-box. Despite Brooke being the form player, Turner comes in to give us that creative spark. Then we've got Ifiani, Dobson and Victor Sedende, the front 3. Sedende is back in. Of course he is. 15 goals, a decent season. Will probably be back up next year if I get the type of striker I want. But regardless, he's got a big role to play in this one. A very quick side note is that Aaron Simpson has agreed a new deal. 25 quid a week pay cut. And he's down from important player to regular starter. Probably dropped to squad player if we get a good right back too. Certainly one of the weak links of the team. But today, we need everyone confident, everyone buoyant and everyone in form. And if today could be the day we score more than 1 goal, that would be absolutely lovely too. 4 changes from the last game as we mentioned. Now let's see if we can beat Kings Lynn and more importantly, if Chesterfield can lose against Wealdstone. 3 changes for our opponents today too. They've got a pretty good side out there. But they are just a sort of mid-table there or thereabouts team at the minute. They're not producing anything special. They're not really looking like pushing for the playoffs. And to be fair to them, they didn't look like going down. So let's get the lads motivated into the first half. We need a big game from David Gregory and some big games from the front three. As Kopekwa wins a header early on, back to his goalkeeper. Can Gregory make something of it here? He's got a big chance with a goal kick. Goes long over the top. Sedende brings it down for Dobson. It's a great touch. There's players in the box if he can deliver here. Dobson into Brian. Oh, he's hit the post. I was so sure that was going in. You might have just caught the glimpse. The fists were going already. I was celebrating the goal. But there you go. That's arrogance for you. Chesterfield still 0-0. No goals early doors in the National League. It's very tight, but Notts County the champions. 111 points as it stands. Take the lead early on. It's brilliant from them. They've been phenomenal this season. And now, Darlington are ahead against Southend, which means Wealdstone need to win to stay up. That makes things interesting. For us, though, none of that matters if we don't get a goal. On the right-hand side, we've got a throw in with Simpson to Manton. Simpson delivers again. Dobson's up. Oh, he's hit the woodwork. Back to Carson on the left wing. It's one hell of a ricochet off the post, wasn't it? Dobson back out to Carson again. Probably one of the most improved players this season, the left-back. Really broken into the first team, and he's rated one of the best at the club now. And he's got it on the left-hand side here, but it peters out. Doesn't do anything after I talked him up. It remains goalless towards half-time. We're dominant, but again, we just cannot get the goal. And I'm even more annoyed now, because I've just seen that Wealdstone have gone ahead at Chesterfield. We're going to tell the lads to keep working hard. We're going to go positive, and we're straight back in the second half. Less than a minute gone. We've got a ball with Kopekwa to Oshieng in the centre circle, wide to Simpson. He's got a chance to run down the line. No pressure on him whatsoever. He gets the cross in. Deflects out to the edge of the box. Missed header to Turner. Dobson shoots. Just wide on the near post. He was really pushing it with an acute angle there. And Chesterfield, they've gone 3-1 down. 3-1 down with 35 to go. Oh no. I thought he delivered. Oliver Turner has had a really poor season. He would have just earned himself a new contract there, but he was adjudged to be offside. It's staying 0-0, and I don't know what to do. I don't know where to gamble. Chesterfield have got one back, so it might not matter. But if we lose out because we can't break down Kings Lynn, when Chesterfield lose, I'll be devastated. Let's see what we can do. Brian Ifeanyi's tired. I'm going to bring on Marsh Brown. He's been a star so often for us. In centre midfield, I'm tempted to take Turner off. He's playing all right. There's not really much I can do that improves this team. We're playing really well. We just can't score goals. And taking Sedende off for Brown Sterling seems counterproductive. I don't think it solves our problem. Let's encourage the lads. Let's try and get that winner. But at this point, I need Chesterfield to score, because if we lose out this way, I'll be devastated. Bliss it on the end of a long kick. Don't do it now. Oh my word, it's over the bar. I thought Cole Kopekwa, after all he's done this season, was about to cost us the chance of the playoffs. Harbottle's knackered. I'm going to bring on Jack Senga to stop those types of errors. And then in midfield, I'm going to bring on Harry Brook. And I'm going to go for Mantum and Brook as the midfield two. It's worked before. It's been effective. We've got 9 minutes to go. We've got to go attacking. We've got to try and find a way to score here. 21 shots, 7 on target. And it's 0-0 as Dobson gets it on the left. What a way it would be to steal it though if we won this 1-0. And Bayo with the big kick for Kings Lynn. Only finds Jack Senga. Carries it out of defence. He's got fresh legs. Finds Marsh Brown on the right. Another substitute. Gets towards the byline. This would be the time. Gets the cross into the back post. Dobson's up. But it's well over his head. He gets it on the left. Deflected cross to Carson. Bliss it heads clear. Oshieng gets it. They're hanging on. We are camped in their half. Kopekwa delivers the ball, but we can't do anything with it. Marsh Brown back to Simpson. Into Dobson. Oh, he's hit the post again. Oh, my words. Simpson down the line to Marsh Brown. It's out for a goal kick. That's going to be it. How on earth have we not won this game? Thankfully, it doesn't matter. Look at the bottom left. In fact, you can't see it just behind my head. It is Chesterfield 3, Wealdstone 3, and it's Jack McCourt, who I think we had at Macclesfield in FM20, who's come back to haunt us on the channel. We've got 15 seconds left. It's not going to matter now, but I would still like to win the game based on what we've played in this one. We've been absolutely brilliant, but still, 0-0. The problem is definitely goals. We have got to improve our strike force next season. We need a better winger for Dobson, who's old and his experience is great. His free kick taking's great. but his influence wanes after the hour mark. We need a strong right winger. We need a replacement for Sedende, because that's all that's cost us a place in the playoffs. How have we not scored in that match? And how have we not beaten Chesterfield to the playoffs? It's a question I didn't think I'd be asking at the start of the season, but it is an 8th place finish. And in fact, look at that. Chesterfield come back to win 4-3. McCourt got a brace in the end, and Wealdstone just ran out of steam too. And perhaps that's what we have to accept as semi-pro sides at this level. What we are going to do, though, is focus on this summer. We need to get a lot of players in. This year, we took on momentum. We thought we'd stick with a team that got us up. And to be fair, that's about the best we could have done. I'm delighted with that achievement. However, if we want to take that next step and get into the playoffs next season, and maybe even get to the top, because Notts County was so far ahead of everyone else, we've got to sign big. We'll talk a little bit about how we're going to do that sustainably in the season review tomorrow, because the season has finished, which means we'll have one more day on the beta schedule. Tomorrow we'll have our season review at 11:30, the head coach at 3:30, and then from Tuesday, when we start our daily episodes at 3:30, we'll start with what should be utter fireworks in the National League transfer special with Hemel Hempstead. Chesterfield are the side that get into the playoffs. Oh, scout report for Kyle Hudlin. That's a name, but he's playing in League 2. He won't come down here. No, he's scoring goals and playing regularly. He's never coming back. But what a season it was. We finished in 8th place in the National League table. We had a big first round FA Cup tie and scared the League 1 side almost. But unfortunately, we couldn't keep our crown in the FA Trophy, and it was done in humiliating circumstances. Battered by Gateshead, which led to a 10-game winless run. And ultimately, that's what cost us the playoffs. Lots of work to be done, lots of improvements to be made next year, but we are a really good side. We're solid, we're resolute at the back. We just need to produce a little bit more going forward. If you're looking forward to the season review tomorrow and then the big transfer special from the new schedule on Tuesday, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know what you thought of this season, because of course we spent most of the first quarter talking about avoiding relegation, and the fact we took the playoff push till the last day of the season is really a good effort, isn't it? We've got to be pleased. The 7 sides above us, I think, if I just check Bromley, are all professional. They are. And to be fair, the 3 or 4 below us are as well. I think the first semi-pro side in the league is Maidenhead, below us in 15th place, which shows just how much of an achievement our season is. I'm torn in 2 minds between whether to push for going professional and saving money, or trying to get a squad that can get up. But I think realistically, the easiest way to do it is have an FA Cup run or go to League 2. And that requires a good team. We'll have our season review and our own personal review of the squad tomorrow. We'll do that in a season review at 11:30. If you want to stay up to date and make sure you don't miss it, subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. We've got daily FM22 content from 2 long-term stories, a very big episode in the head coach this afternoon. If you're not up to date with that, you can find the playlist in the eye above, as well as our Data Hub special, the football podcast, and a Twitch channel where we've got regular live streams too. I'm off to an FA Cup tie this afternoon in real life, so I'm hoping it's going to be a good one between St Albans and Forest Green. But I'll see you next time for the season review, and then Tuesday should be a blockbuster transfer special. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.